Hello, and welcome to episode number 364 of the TEW 28 Challenge Run. This is going to be Monday Night Raw for week 2 of May 2023. And last week was an interesting show. We set up War Games for Starrcade. It's going to be Cody Rhodes against Planet Jarrett. He's got to find some friends, I guess. We also set up two more championship matches for Starrcade. Danny Jordan won the Queen's Gambit Battle Royal to the shock of a lot of people to get a match against her former mentor, Charlotte Flair, for the title at Starrcade, as well as a big-time tag team bout between the Cyclone and Path of the Dragon, two of the top teams in this company for the last year, going at it for the titles. But tonight, we've got a big singles match. Gunter takes on Montez Ford. We have something else. We have a tag team match, DIY against Pretty Deadly. And we have Dominik Mysterio and Grayson Waller teaming up against Warden and somebody, if he can find somebody. If not, he may go it alone. And also on Heat, we have that four-way we've been building to a lot. And there's actually interesting developments regarding that four-way on tonight's Raw, which I completely overlooked. So yeah, that four-way tag match determines who will face Liver Battle at Judgment Day. For any more further ado, let's jump straight into tonight's show. Wrestling has more than one royal family. Opens up. Cody comes out, goes, whoa! And then out come AJ Styles and Finn Balor. The three of them share a two-sweet on the ramp. And then they come into the ring. And Cody goes, so, what do you guys want to talk about? I know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Starrcade. See, I could talk about Starrcade for days. The brainchild of the American dream, Dusty Rhodes. Starrcade is coming back to the Georgia Dome in less than 3 weeks' time, and with it comes War Games. Now you see, Jeff Jarrett last week came out here and he ran his mouth to me about how he's gonna be the WWE champion, how he makes all this money, and how he got Gallows and Anderson to betray their good brothers here in favor of Green. And we all know, anyone who knows the Good Brothers knows they do love Green. So I'd love to say it was surprising, but I thought there was still a little bit of loyalty left here, because everybody knows once you're a part of the club, you're in the club for life. And that's why seeing these two men, AJ Styles and Finn Balor, two men who I have great respect for, be betrayed by two people they thought were as close as brothers in Gallows and in Carl Anderson. And then seeing War Games, I thought, what a time to get the band back together. So of course, if I need to find 4 partners for War Games, AJ Styles, Finn Balor, you're looking at 2 of them. Now, and then that's when Jeff Jarrett's group interrupts. They come out on stage. And just like, Cody, listen, and I'm going to let you finish. Once you get through your little spiel, you know, your American Nightmare spiel, the same shit you come on here and say every single week. I don't care. I don't care who the next 2 members of your team are going to be, because War Games is our night, okay? You and AJ and Finn can run your little club back and be for life. But these 2 men here, these Baldski brothers behind me, they know there's more to life than all of that. They know that to be successful in this business, you gotta sacrifice friendships for money. And so, Cody, what makes you think that any person that could agree to be on your team wouldn't stab you in the back at a moment's notice? And Cody looks around, he's like, well, Jeff, I mean, I'd like to consider myself a good judge of character, you know, because if I pick somebody who's gonna be by my side, I know damn well they're gonna have my back and they're gonna hate you. Because, need I remind you, I've been in War Games before. And the people that I teamed up with on that night, let's just put it lightly, weren't my best friends in the world. So when it comes to getting into that cage and getting the job done, I need to know that my new friends and my other 2 partners, whoever they may be, have got to be there waiting.
You know it's all about the power.
Adam Cole's music hits, and then the Paragon come out with him. He goes, "Who's ready for story time, Adam Cole, baby?" Because I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story about war games. I want to tell you a story about a little group called the Undisputed Era. Okay, myself, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, we dominated that match in NXT, just like we dominated the whole show itself. We came up to Raw, dominated War Games up here on Raw. And now, I see it's War Games season, there's still no room for Adam Cole, baby. Well, I think that needs to change because Storytime Adam Cole, baby, Chapter 2, For Life. As you may know, Cody found himself a clique of friends here who he used to run with while he was away from the WWE. Well, guess who else is a full member of this elusive crew? That's right, Adam Cole, baby. So, if it's about getting the band back together, and it's about war games, you can look up and down this entire roster. There's only one person who fits the description for both those things, Cody. And that's Adam Cole, baby. And you know it. And Cody sort of looks on smiling. He's sort of like, you can see he's nodding his head. And he turns to Finn and AJ and they have like a group huddle or whatever. And then AJ takes him and goes, "Adam Cole, you know, you and I have had a bit of issues in the past. So have you and Finn. But you're right. You're spot on with anything you said just now. So that's why, when it comes to getting the band back together for War Games, you're our fourth guy." And he's like, "Oh, I knew you wouldn't be able to resist having the king of War Games on your team. So tonight, how about Adam Cole, baby, and all glorious Bobby Roode here team up as the Paragon and put these good brothers in their place, baby. And then, after that, we can have a discussion about how, you know, Bobby Roode here, he may not be a member of the club, but there's no members of the club left, so this is your fifth guy here." And then Bobby Roode's like, yeah. And Cody's like, I'll think about it. But we do set up the main event. It will be Adam Cole and Bobby Roode against Gallows and Anderson. Adam Cole has joined War Games. You know, feels natural. It's Adam Cole. He's ex-Bullet Club. So this seems like if there's one match ever that he had to be in, it's this one. We then cut to a pre-recording thing from earlier today. It's Jordan arriving to the arena with Aaliyah and Skylar. I took the princess off their names because that felt like a heel thing, and they're baby faces now. So they're just Aaliyah and Skylar now. Still called the Platinum Princesses, but they're just, yeah. They're walking to Rhea when they're approached by Rhea Ripley. And they just also just stop and look at Rhea. And Rhea laughs and goes, "So you're the number one contender, huh? Charlotte was so scared of me that you got given an opportunity? Charlotte's gonna eat you alive." And John's like, "Yeah, I heard this all last week, yeah. Okay, look, I know I'm not the favourite. I know I'm an underdog. And that's fine. I wouldn't want to be the favourite because it's Charlotte, you know. Obviously, people don't expect me to win." Charlotte goes, "Don't expect you to win." She walks in the face and goes, "What you're saying is that you may as well just forfeit the match at Starrcade now because, you know, I'm going to beat you, Jordan, so it's not really much point of you even having the match, is there?" And then Rhea's there, she's like, "Great, so she can pull out and I'll take her spot." Charlotte goes, "Oh, no. What I meant was, I'll take the night off at Starrcade because there's no viable challenges for me because, you see, I've already beaten you, Rhea. I beat you at Backlash." And then Rhea's like, "Well, I could beat this little girl here." And Jordan's like, "Well, we'll have to see about that, won't we? Tonight, me and you." And Rhea just laughs and goes, "Great, you know. If Tegan didn't learn a lesson, she's chilling in the hospital bed somewhere. She could probably use a roommate." And then Rhea walks off, and Charlotte just looks at Jordan and laughs and goes, "Why did you accept that match? And then we cut to the ring, and then Rhea comes out for the entrance to the match. Which gets an 81. That's actually not that bad. But, Rhea wins. She beats Danny Jordan 10-38. I imagine the match, Charlotte's on commentary. And, for the first, 3 minutes, Jordan's getting, fucking mauled by Charlotte. Not by Rhea, even. And, Rhea's playing around with her food and shit. But eventually Jordan will hit a comeback. And would get a near fall on Rhea at some point. And then Charlotte would obviously shit herself, thinking that she's actually going to win. And distract Jordan, and then Rhea hits the Riptide to win 1-2-3. 75 for Danny Jordan, 88 for Rhea Ripley. But I think I forgot to put the segment in after the match, just like she did with Tegan on Heat last week. Rhea would lock in the submission hold, the leg thing, and just leave it locked in while the referee's trying to pull her off. Jordan grabbing her knee, she hits the floor. Charlotte just watching on, yeah, that's it, bitch. We then cut from that to a shot of Batista and Rick Boogs in Batista's office. And Batista is just chatting, to Boogs about the show when in walk. No, actually, no, not in walk. Boogs is getting all fired up. He goes, "It's gonna be a great show, Dave. I can't wait. We got all these matches. It's gonna rock." And he turns around and Shinsuke's there and they're face to face. And Boogs sort of just awkwardly stops. He straightens himself up, straightens his tie, and everyone goes, "Mr. Nakamura?" And Shinsuke just barges Boogs out of the way. And then Shinsuke and Minoru Suzuki stand around. And Aoi Makawa comes up to Batista and starts shouting at him in Japanese. But he's like, okay, hold on. Slow down. I don't speak Japanese that well. I have to slow down and take your time. And then Aoi just shouts at him again, as she did the first time. And then Rick Boogs pops in and she goes, "Really?" And then he talks to her. She talks to Boogs, and he's like, "Okay, He goes, "I've got a bit of a problem, Dave." He's like, "What?" He goes, "Mako's travel for tonight. For the 4-way tag on Heat. It's supposed to be Tatum and Ivy against Aoi and Mako tonight on Raw, and then the 4-way tag on Heat. But Mako's not here. Her travel's held up. So what you could do about that?" Batista goes, "You speak Japanese?" And then Boogs is like, "Well, yeah, I hung around with that guy for 2 years," pointing at Shinsuke. And Batista goes, "Well, in regards to the travel situation, that is unfortunate, and you and Mako did earn the opportunity to be in that match. And with Judgment Day this Sunday, we can't exactly delay it a week. So I'll give you one solution, is that you can find a partner tonight to team with against Ivy and Tatum. And then you can team with that partner in the Fatal 4-Way on Heat to determine the number one contender. Do we have ourselves a deal?" And now he just sort of shrugs. And then says something in Japanese and walks off. And then Boogie looks at Batista and goes, "She said it's not ideal, but she can make it work." Batista goes, "You have found one thing you're good at, Boogs." He goes, "Well, golly gee, thanks, Dave." So yeah, the situation was Mako can only work every other Raw because she works Sendai Girls as well. I can't sign her on a written. She's only here on a handshake because she owns Sendai Girls. So it's every other Monday is a clash in the contract, and I just didn't think that through. And I booked her on this show, and she's not around because she's in Japan. So I had to do a workaround, but the workaround I've done is fun, so it's fun. We then head to Kathy Kelly backstage. And she's with, ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time, Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods, The New Day. And Kathy says, since coming here on Raw, you made one thing abundantly clear, and that's that you, Kofi, former WWE champion, you, Big E, former World Heavyweight champion, Xavier Woods, never former World champion. And Big E's like, "That's right, Kayla, Kathy, even. Our boy Xavier Woods is the one member of The New Day yet to experience what it's like to be world champion. And you see, last year I won the Royal Rumble, I went on to WrestleMania, and I became the World Heavyweight Champion. Kofi Mania, how could you forget that? One of the greatest stories ever told here in WWE. But Xavier Woods Mania, that's what we're fighting for next. Because you see, me and Kofi, we've done it all. So the only one thing we need to do in this company is to help this man become world champion. Let me say him off screen here. Would you shut your dumb ass up? And then walks MVP. Because now listen, you boys are good. You know, in another life, I'd happy to have represented you, but I don't represent you because you're doing all this pancake bootio crap. I represent the almighty Bobby Lashley. I represent Damon Kemp. I represent Ronnie Hughes. I represent the Hurt Business. And while business may have been a bit rocky on SmackDown, it's a fresh start here on Raw, and you guys are in our way. And Big E's like, well, if you think it's a fresh start for you on Raw and the almighty Bobby Lashley, and we love to bump meat with big men, you got 3 big meaty men behind you, how about next week you send one of your boys in to face me, and we bump meat here on Raw next week? And then Damon Kemp steps in. He sort of just smiles to Big E. He goes, I'll be happy to put you in your place, E. You know, once you get into the ring with me, you're not going to be Big E for much longer. Because I'll put you down, you won't be big anymore. And Hurt Business walk off. So yeah, announced for next week's Raw will be Big E versus Damon Kemp of the Hurt Business. Interesting little meat slapping match there. 90, let's go. I knew this was going to bang. I'm so glad it did bang. Gunther and Montez Ford. This will probably bang more than the main event. Obviously, Gunther wins in 17:45. Golden Bomb. 96 for Gunther, 76 for Montez Ford. Shout outs to this new Imperium picture, by the way. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. Gunther obviously just needed another rebound win after he beat Edge. And Montez Ford, this is his first match as a single star here on Raw. And he took a lot of pain, but in the end, Gunther put him down. Which is nothing to laugh at, because Gunther's put a lot of people down over the last year. The fact that Tez hung for so long is a commendable effort. And that actually leads to this segment, which is Bianca comes out, along with some medics, like help Montez Ford to his feet. I imagine, because Montez Ford is fucking great at selling, like, the segment is just like he's staggering around. Like, remember in the actual Elimination Chamber when people thought he was legitimately hurt when they were doing the Logan Paul spot? Yeah, like he just sort of like staggering around, like he's legitimately hurt. Bianca's coming out to like keep him steady. Medics are trying to like come to the back. I imagine the crowd's like applauding his efforts and shit. And yeah, just a quick segment of Tez just selling the beating, but taking in his applause for a 90 rated banger. we then head backstage. Otis and Brooks are just sort of stood around the corner at catering, and Otis is scranning food, and Brooks looks around and goes, "Man, what are we doing here? You know, Fallon's not here, Morgan's not here, Ham's ain't here. What are we doing here? We're lost." And Otis just keeps eating. And Brooks says, "Well, I suppose we better try and make some new friends." And he sort of taps someone on the shoulder, turns around, it's Mackie, of course. She goes, "What?" And he's like, hey? And she's like, "What? What do you want?" And Brooks is like, "How are you doing today?" Mackie just goes, "Pooh." And Brooks goes, "Well, really, what's up?" She goes, "Well, we wanted tag team championship match, but we didn't get tag team championship match." And Brooks is like, "Well, I know that feeling, you know, of wanting something but you can't get it, you know. I know that feeling all too well. Otis here knows that feeling." And then Otis turns around and is like, oh yeah. And then they just sort of awkwardly look around at each other. And which member will I have it be? Well, I don't want it to actually be Mackie. It'd be any of the other members. Let's go Mina. Mina walks up to Mackie. She's like, "Come on." Mackie's like, "Okay, yeah, we go, girls." And he orders the J-Flow girls off, but Mina sort of lingers around. She sort of like turns around and looks at Brooks and Otis. And Brooks just looks at her and goes, "Hey, how you doing?" And she just sort of just shrugs him off and walks away. And Otis is like, nice going. He goes, thanks. I think I'm getting better at this. They're just, a stable and a tag team. I didn't really have anything going on. I thought, yeah, let's start a fun little story here about these becoming friends. But yes, Brooks' weird behaviour hasn't really enamored him with Mackie or any of the other J-Flow girls right now. They head out to the ring. Roxy Perez comes out, AJ Lee with her. And Roxy says, being here on Raw, it's sort of like being on SmackDown was also great, but Raw was my show growing up. I always imagined myself here on Monday Night Raw, and the fact that I'm here, it's never gonna get used. I'm never gonna get used to it that I'm here. But I can't get caught up in the lights, the glam of the show, because I came here for one reason and one reason only. That's because I'm the Women's Liberty Champion, and I would be doing a disservice to Batista, who drafted me, if I wasn't going to be a fighting champion here on Raw. So that got me thinking about who on this show is going to be my first defense on Raw. I got me thinking. I looked up and down the Raw roster, and there's one name who really stood out to me. One person I think I really need to give a championship match to. A woman who I see a lot of myself in. A woman who has been told the same things that I've been told, that, oh, you're not big enough to be successful, you're never going to get over, you're just a stupid little Latina with big dreams. But tonight I'm going to share the ring with her. So ladies and gentlemen, the number one contender and the next challenger for my Women's Liberty Championship, give it up for Zelina Vega. Out comes Zelina. AJ's in there, standing in the corner, I guess, clapping her on. And then she leaves the ring to stand around ringside as Roxy and Zelina go at it for the Liberty title. Match gets an 83, which is really good considering these two have 67 and 77 individual ratings. I had enough faith this match would do alright, and it did. Roxy retains again, 14 minutes with the Pop Rocks to make defense number 4 of the Women's Liberty title. 67 for Roxy, 77 for Zelina Vega. And Roxy's celebrating. And AJ's at ringside with her, she goes outside, she grabs the Liberty title. And Roxy's got her hand raised by the referee. And AJ sort of stops. And she looks down at the belt. She looks up at Roxy. And Roxy's like, come on. Give me my title. And AJ sort of hands the title over. But as Roxy goes to take it away, she still has her hands on the belt. And Roxy's like, come on, let go. But then bang, they're both jumped behind by Toxic Attraction. And I imagine Gigi and JC jump AJ, Mandy jumps Roxy. Gigi and JC lay AJ out with that Toxic Shock double team finisher. And then Mandy lays out Roxy with that big knee. And then she grabs the Liberty belt and holds it up high as Gigi and JC stand by her side. So she's made her intentions abundantly clear that she's coming for that Women's Liberty title. I mean, Roxy's been sort of doing open challenges, but I don't think the next one will be open. I think Mandy's staked her claim for that belt. We then come back to our heroes in the Dungeon of Doom. Of course, last time, they were trapped here. The door of the cave slammed shut or whatever it was. And now our heroes are panicking, and the booming voice over the PA or whatever it is like,
"You are the first to enter In over 25 years, this place has been sealed away, dormant. Only I knew where it was. Only I knew how to enter. And you interfered. You trespassed on my territory. Say your name and your intentions here.
Manny's like, well, hi, we're my wrestling academia, and we got lost because Dio's terrible at reading maps. And Dio slaps him on the head. He goes, "That's not." We're looking for There's a guy. I don't know. We don't know his name. That's what we're trying to find out. But he's apparently an evil guy who's trying to steal our pendant and take over the world.
Ah, Joe Gacy, did you already beat him?
And Dio's like, yeah, but that's not who we're talking about. It's somebody else. And this guy's like,
I have no idea who you mean. My Dungeon of Doom has not seen any new faces in years. But you five look like the perfect puppets for my new game.
And Manny's like, what do you mean puppets? What do you mean by that? When we're not like the Muppets.
No, you see, I will rise again. And I just need to find 2 people who I can guide to the top. Well, not 2 people, a group of people, any number of people that I can guide to the top. So either you 5 willingly let me guide you, or you'll be eliminated and your bodies used as puppets in my game.
And Dio's like, well, that sounds like a fun ultimatum, but I think we'll pass. Why don't you show yourself so we can fight you?
Oh, you silly boy. There's only one person strong enough to defeat my army. And you're not him. None of you are him. So unless you can bring him back, I'm afraid I have no other choice.
And then like a massive cage of some description jumps up comes out of the ground, trapping our 5 heroes in the cage. And then the man walks out of the shadows to reveal himself, and he stands in front of the cage. This is what he looks like. And he says, I am the Dark Father, and I will get rid of you, and I will rule the entire wrestling world. So, obviously I was limited of options between who I would actually use for that role. I didn't want to go with actual Kevin Sullivan, because I just didn't. So James Mitchell seemed like the best choice. So we have a new Dark Father in this place named the Dungeon of Doom, and our 5 heroes have been trapped. So who knows what's going to go on next? Ha ha ha. But anyway, we cut to the ring, and Grayson Waller's in the ring. He goes, right, get that crap off, lad. Okay, get that crap off. No one wants to see that. This is the real star here, okay? Get the camera on this face, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest star here on Monday Night Raw is back. Grayson Waller's in the house, baby. And as you heard last week, that bum warden, who's been up in my grill for some time now, he sort of got a bone to pick with old Grayson Waller. And we've got a tag team match here tonight, unless he's, too bold and thinks he can handle me and my new best mate 2-on-1. Speaking of my new best mate, let me introduce you to the second coolest guy here on Raw. The second most handsome guy here on Raw. And ladies and gentlemen, he gets a piece of paper out to read like a full-on formal introduction. He goes, accompanied by business megamind Anthony Nese of the Nese Business, designed to guide the new face of Cruiserweight Wrestling. Let me introduce you to the number 1 Mysterio, the former Cruiserweight Champion, the soon-to-be 2-time Cruiserweight Champion, and the new face of Cruiserweight Wrestling, and Grayson Waller's new best friend, Dominik Mysterio. Out come Dominik and Anthony Nese, And him and Waller like obnoxiously hug in the ring. Warden's music then hits and he comes out of a mic. He goes, oh, look at you, just seeing you two together, you know, a match made in hell. And as much as I would love to manhandle you both 1-on-1, 2-on-1, you know, there's somebody else who's got an issue with you, and, well, I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to team with a guy like him. And obviously it's Rey Mysterio. And we get a tag match, Warden and Rey Mysterio against Grayson Waller and Dominik Mysterio. Match gets a 82. I'll take that. And in a shocking turn of events, Grayson Waller and Dominik actually pick up the win. Dominik finally pins his own father. Thanks to interference by Anthony Nese. Dominik hits him with a frog splash and pins him. 76 for Rey, 79 for Warden, 76 for Dominik, and a 54 for Grayson Waller. But it is the new best friends. They hug each other, they jump up and down in glee that Dominik has pinned his own father, Rey Mysterio, here tonight. Warden is, of course, pissed off. But yes, those son of a bitches get one up over the legend here tonight. We then see, we're in the hallway, we see, like, Aoi's, like, shadow boxing and probably kicking, you know, because she does kicks. Like, but she's, like, right at the edge of a hallway, like, you can see a dark hallway, like, to her right, just behind her. There's no other Ichiban members with her. And then we see, like, Aoi, like, shadow boxing, we can just hear someone just go, psst! And she sort of stops. And he's like, huh? She goes, behind you. And Aoi turns around, like, looks behind her, goes, no, down the hallway. And Aoi sort of, like, slowly walks towards it. He goes, wait. Before you come round here, I need to keep a low profile, you know, I'm not supposed to be here. But I think there's something that can benefit both of us. And now he sort of, like, listens in. She goes, I hear that Mako's travel got delayed tonight, and you're looking for a new tag team partner for both tonight against Tatum and Ivy and on Heat. And you're not looking like you've got any other options right now. And I'm looking to get my own back on Tatum and Ivy, quite frankly. And I'm also looking to finally become a WWE superstar. And by winning a tag team championship gold with you help me achieve my dream. So what do you say? Let me just see a hand peeking out the shadows and go, do we have a deal? And Aoi sort of looks around. And she shakes the person's hand. Who then, of course, once the agreement is in place, will reveal her identity as Alexa Bliss. It's like, great. Okay, so, see you out there, partner. And she'll walk off. And Aoi sort of like, I imagine as Alexa walks off, she like looks on in shock or like a bit of disgust. Like, why the fuck have I agreed? A deal with the devil, effectively. Speaking of the devil, Aleister Black. He's got a promo. Imagine, I can't tell you what the content would be. You know the weird Aleister Black promos before he got released, where he was sat in a chair with the glasses on reading from a book about, you know, dragons and fire and being possessed and all that shit. Basically one of those. But he recaps, you know, last week's encounter with R-Truth. I said that he was the first person foolish enough to step up to Aleister Black. And that he doesn't know when the next person will be. That's not up to him to decide. It's up to fate to decide who's next. But always know that lurking in the shadows. Be prepared to fade to black or some shit like that. Then go from that to a picture of a sad R-Truth. A sad R-Truth sitting on a crate backstage. And we see Titus, Shanky, and Billy Kay slowly walk up to him and they sort of like see him and they sort of stop. And then Titus goes, oh no, come on, let's go. What's up, buddy? You know, you're like the most upbeat person in this entire locker room. It's seeing you down bums the mood of everybody around us. What's the matter? And he goes, my baby's gone. John Henry stole my baby. And I've been saying John Henry the entire time, and I can't get my baby back. And Titus like, Shanky's like, well, actually, you don't actually say that. You have to just say, and then Titus stops him. He goes, truth. Us here at Titus World Records like to stick together, and I think it could be a blessing that your baby's gone, because we need to focus on what's really important here, and that's making music for the world to enjoy. And then after he goes, my baby's important to me, dog. If it's important to me, it should be important to the whole group. And I don't know if I can continue going on if I don't have my baby, you know? Because yes, I get that, but truth, you know, things change, times change. Maybe it's not your baby anymore. Truth sort of looks up and says, dog, don't say that, don't. I feel like I'll let my baby down if I can't get my baby back, okay? And I don't want to be a disappointment for you. And then Billy Kay says, oh, for bloody hell, say his name.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
And then he's like, what? He goes, listen, Joe. None of us here like seeing Truth bummed out, okay? You can admit seeing Truth bummed out is... It brings the whole mood down. It's Truth, you know? He's normally the heart and soul of the whole thing. And Henry goes, yes, I see. And then Billy's like, well, what would you say about him giving that title back to Truth? Henry goes, it's a great offer, but what do I get in return? And Billy Kay's like, well, what do you want, mate? And he goes, I want to star on a Titus World Records song. And then they will sort of look at him. And he goes, come again? He goes, I've got plenty of songs that I've got planned. Let me record one, and you can take this title back. And Truth jumps up from G like, dog, what are we waiting for? Titus, you said we gotta go to the studio. Let's go. Hurry. And then Joe Hendry, he's the last person standing behind. Shanky, Billy Kay, and Titus get shuffled off. And then Truth turns around and is like, thank you, Joe Hendry. And gives him a big hug. And then he runs off after them as well. And Hendry sort of shrugs his shoulders and follows him. So a nice happy ending to the story here. Well, for now, I guess. I'll take a 77 here. Yeah. DIY versus Pretty Deadly goes 30 minutes and 13 seconds, and it is Pretty Deadly who cheat to get the win. They pin Ciampa with you've what they're doing on SmackDown now. That's sort of just cheating, you know, stuff like that. 73 for Ciampa, 89 for Gargano, 49 for both members of Pretty Deadly, and yeah, they win. DIY, don't worry about those. There's something in the oven for those. That's why I felt okay beating them now. So, yeah, big win for Pretty Deadly. We then see a recap of Rhea beating Danny Jordan early on tonight and then locking her in that prism trap. And then we cut to the medical room. Danny's getting her knee checked out. Ali and Skylar are there. And Charlotte walks in, takes a seat next to her again. And then she's like, your knee's not looking good, Danny, I'm going to be honest. She's like, yes, I know. Why? Why are you here? He goes, well, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. You stepped up to Rhea and you lost? Like, I get it. You're trying to prove you're on the level of being the Raw Women's Champion, and Rhea Ripley's the most dominant woman here on Raw that's not named Charlotte Flair. But, you know, I think you might be rushing into things too soon. Because let me tell you, that ain't great. I've seen many girls in my time rush into things before they're ready. And that reality check hits you in the face, and it hits you hard. Okay? Because yes, don't get me wrong, I saw you, and I molded you into the woman you are today, and I know you've got what it takes to be a champion one day. But today's not that day, Danny. And you're learning that out now the hard way. But you might be in a bit over your head, so I'd be perfectly fine, if you decided that you weren't ready and took my advice and decided to pull out of the match at Starrcade. Because I'll be fine for Starrcade. You've really got one knee. You're going into a match you're already at a disadvantage in, with an even bigger disadvantage. That doesn't seem smart. So, when I embarrass you at Starrcade, then what's next for you? If this is what you're gonna do, don't say I didn't warn you. I've tried, as a friend, as your old friend. I've tried to give you advice. I think you should listen to not rush into things before you're ready, because the morale hit and the confidence knock you'll take, that's gonna hit you. But it's your funeral. You're taking the hit. What else can I really do? And Charlotte just gets up, pats her on the head, and leaves. And then Aaliyah and Scarlett just go, was she always that obnoxious when we were with her? We just didn't notice it because we were blinded. It's like, yeah. Wes Lee gets a video package. Just, I imagine that's not, I was going to say, one of the fucking weed-smoking ones. No, it's like the one they aired once, where it was it showed, his family, and him and his wife and shit on NXT. I think it might have been before he won the North American title. But it's his journey to Raw or whatever. And how he's going to try and become Intercontinental Champion, TEW Champion. He's been close to being a Cruiserweight. No, he has been an actual Cruiserweight Champion, never mind. He's been Cruiserweight Champion, yeah. Wes Lee, just a profile piece, basically, because I had nothing for him this week. I wanted to get him on the show. 74 for this tag team match. Obviously, you know the result here. Alexa and Owie don't work well as a team, and Tatum pins Alexa with the Eye of the Reaper in 10:23. 48 for Ivy Nile, 51 for Tatum Paxley, 73 for Alexa, and a 63 for Owie Maikawa. But unfortunately for Owie, she does have to team with Alexa one more time. That's on Heat, because it'll be them two against Ivy and Tatum against two members of Next Gen, and then against Nightlight for the right to face Liv a battle at Judgment Day. But a big win here on Raw for Ivy and Tatum, beating Alexa once more. The boogeyman, Tatum Paxley, strikes again. Speaking of, though, we have next week, where we have some big matches announced. Neither team was on this week's show, but we are going to heat the build to the tag title match next week, when Ricochet goes one-on-one with Zergus the Mighty here on Raw. And then also announced next week will be a tag team match. Roxy Perez will team with AJ Lee to take on Gigi Dolan and JC Jane of Toxic Attraction after their attack of Roxy and AJ earlier on tonight. And then, as we heard announced earlier on tonight as well, Big E and the Hurt Business's Damon Kemp one-on-one here on Raw. And whatever's going on, R-Truth and Joe Hendry in the Titus World Record booth. We'll have all the updates on that next week as well. But Starrcade, we had no matches announced for Starrcade tonight, but we did have Adam Cole added to the War Games team. But we had a match for Starrcade announced on Velocity last Friday, and that is that Rey Mysterio will defend the Cruiserweight Championship against an old foe, Juventud Guerrera, in 2 weeks from Saturday? Yeah, at Starrcade in the Georgia Dome. Oh my goodness gracious me, I thought I'd made a mistake putting this on last because it wasn't going to do as well as Gunther versus Montez Ford. I was wrong, this gets a 90. Adam Cole and Bobby Roode pick up the win over the Good Brothers. Again, for Planet Jarrett, wins and losses, not really that important. It is all about the main event paycheck they got for this. 12:45, Adam Cole pins Carl Anderson with the boom. Last shot. 84 for Bobby Roode, 91 for Adam Cole, 76 for Carl Anderson, 62 for Luke Gallows. And then after the match, Cody, AJ, and Finn, I imagine, come out and it's an overbooked mess. Basically, it's a Jeff Jarrett involved adjacently, so it's going to be an overbooked mess. But they run out on attack and leave Grimes, Corbin, and Jeff Jarrett laid out on the outside. So they get into the ring at the end to celebrate with Adam Cole, and they all throw up the 2 sweets. Adam Cole throws his back as well. He's like, yeah. Then he looks over at Bobby Roode. He's like, come on, Bobby, come on. And then Bobby Roode goes to join the group, and Cody sort of stops him. And Bobby Roode's like, what you doing? Oh, what's going on here? And Cody grabs the mic. He goes, Bobby, listen, you're good. I love you. I've respected your work for a long time now, and honestly, if there was one more member of this team, you'd probably be number 6. But we've found a 5th man. Adam Cole sort of looks at him confused. He goes, what do you mean? Bobby's right there. Bobby's my guy. Do you not trust me? And Cody goes, it's not that at all. It's not that. It's I want to make this the strongest team possible. And there's another guy who's had my back for a while since I've been back here on Raw. And I think I owe him that spot. Out comes Drew McIntyre. I don't think we've seen him since WrestleMania. If we have, it's only been a segment on the Raw after Mania where he was like, oh, stay tuned for what's next. But first time in the building, Drew McIntyre is the 5th member of the team. And Cody, Finn, and AJ throw up 2 sweets. Drew's sort of standing there, goes, well, I'm not in the club, so I'm not going to bother, But him and Cody fist bump or whatever. And then they all look at Adam Cole and the Fritz brothers and Bobby Roode sort of watch on what the fuck is this, Bobby Roode before Bobby was in. We just won this main event and you've picked Drew over him? Cody, come on. But yeah, that's the end of the show. Gets us a 93. Very good. Again, that 90 blew my fucking mind. I didn't expect that to do that well. But yes, that is the end of this show. But we do have Heat to get to with, of course, that main event to determine the number 1 contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Heat kicks off with tag team action. The Platinum Princesses have been on Raw, in the corner of Danny Jordan for the last couple of weeks. So I thought, give them a nice tag win here. They beat Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Aaliyah pins Jakara with the Arabian Night in 8 minutes and 8 seconds. 76 for Skylar, 75 for Aaliyah, 25 for Jakara, 32 for Lash. Yeah, 65, fine opener for Heat with these 2 teams here. This one's slightly better. The 2 J-Flow girls are Maki and Mina. They pick up a tag win over Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo. Mina pins Chelsea with a 450 splash. 81 for Maki, 66 for Mina, 63 for Deonna, and a 57 for Chelsea. We then get a 69. Xia Li I need to keep... her popularity is still so much lower than the rest of Path of the Dragon. I want to actually get her built up. So I had to give her somebody with relatively high pop. Toni Storm is that woman, sadly. Toni Storm's contract is coming up in 28 days, and don't know if I'm going to do anything with her anymore, so I'm probably just going to let her go to AEW. It sucks, because I like Toni, but I really don't have anything for her right now. I'd rather just... if the contracts came up, it's not like I got rid of her. Yeah. 75 for Toni, 62 for Xia Li. And then we go to the main event, which is the highly anticipated 4-way tag team match. Yeah, there's a lot of notes here. That's because the game's telling me it's elimination, but it wasn't actually elimination. It's 1-4 to the finish. And of course, the next-gen duo are Tracy Sharrow and Samantha Riggs. And yeah, they look like they're going to win because they're dominant, they're next-gen. I imagine the rest of the group's probably coming out at some point. Actually, no, the rest of the group wouldn't be out there, because that would make this next bit that I'm about to mention stupid. But Tracy Sharrow is going to go for the win. But Lita, who was on the commentary, she used to be on the commentary desk, but she got attacked on the Raw after WrestleMania. Runs back and she makes her return. She screws Tracy Sharrow, knocks her off the top rope or whatever, and like takes her out to neutralize the group. And then, of course, you know who's taking the fall here. And Tatum and Ivy pick up another win over Alexa. Ivy pins... I've given Tatum 2 pins over Alexa, so Ivy can get one. She pins Alexa to earn her and Tatum Paxley a women's tag team title match at Judgment Day against Liv for Battle. 35 for Samantha Riggs, 47 for Tracy Sharrow, 56 for Tatum Paxley, 53 for Ivy Nile, 62 for Aoi Maikawa, 70 for Alexa, 50 for Shantae, and a 73 for Naomi. And yeah, after two wins in one night, and now Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley and Liv and Shida come out, shake hands with the challengers, babyface, respectful shake of hands. And there is your women's tag team title match for Judgment Day. It's going to be Tatum and Ivy against Liv for Battle. Show gets a 67. That main event moved a lot of things across, including Lita coming back to beef with Next Gen, and the crowning of the new challengers. And what matters more than that, though, is what you thought of the show. So let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for SmackDown, which will be SmackDown's go-home show for Judgment Day. See you then.